Welcome to the Bridge of Two podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Bridge of Two podcast.
Hello. Hello there.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us back on the podcast where we bridge the sci-fi and fantasy nerds we love. Sci-fi and fantasy realms we love, not nerds we love.
Why not both?
And do a podcast of epic proportions. It's been a while since I've said that, I think.
You nailed it.
A little rusty.
I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
Is my mic okay?
It's perfect.
Perfect.
Just like, actually, it's not perfect.
It looks perfect to me.
Did you turn it? There, now it's perfect.
Oh, because this is off.
Yeah, you want
me.
the logo to be like right staring in.
I got
face.
it. We got it figured out. No worries. Technical difficulties, not really, but
We've done this before.
definitely. We're
Once in a while.
podcast experts.
Occasionally. Yeah, so we're back to record a podcast for you. You're welcome.
Anyway, yes. Welcome back to Bridge of Two podcast. So, Josh,
So,
how have you been? What have you been up to?
I got a robot vacuum.
Okay. Fair enough.
I got a robot vacuum.
You got one of the what are they called?
Like
the generic ones that everybody gets.
it
Or is it
was
like an off-brand one?
It was I don't know if you call it off-brand. I mean, it's a brand. The brand is EUFY. UFI?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it like Yuffie from
Definitely, we'll just
Final Fantasy VII?
Go with Yuffie.
It was on Amazon and it was looked like a good brand and not the most expensive one.
Is it good? Do you guys like it?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I don't know what I expected. You know, maybe it's to talk to me or something.
I can't wait for it to take over your house.
Give me rides. But
Yeah.
no, it
Real Terminator vibes.
no, it's definitely not anything crazy. Like it feels like in 2021 what you would expect a robot vacuum to do, it just
Vacuums.
leaves its little charge thing and just starts going, and then it starts to bump into, it has these bumper things on the front so it can bump into things and it's not like actually hurting it. And so it'll bump something and then it'll go around, figure out how to get around it and just go back and forth until it finishes, I haven't seen it actually. I'd have to ask Erin. She's messed with it more. She's got the app on her phone and she's got it all figured out, but I haven't seen it do like a full room and just be like, do the whole room and then go back and charge. She's like, usually it's like, it seems like it gets, maybe because we got so much different things in our room. Like we pick up everything off the floor, but we've got like the baby swing and this, that, and the other. So I think at some point it gets kind of disoriented with what it's already vacuumed. So it's almost like it seems like it's
just like a real human.
retreading what it was already done. Yeah, but
Are you gonna like put a weird design on it and make it look cool?
should put like
really
a
should.
Windrunner glyph, or no, Edge Dancer glyph would be perfect
That's
for
beautiful.
it.
You should have a little. You should get a little.
I have Edge Dancer sticker.
Well, you should do
From
is
Brandon Sanderson.
You should get like a lift
Chashler.
action figure
Oh,
and have her riding the vacuum.
That's a good point.
Make
So
it
many
life.
ideas.
Make it life sized. Scare the crap out of your kids.
This is amazing.
I'm
I
with
can't
it.
believe I didn't think about that until this very moment doing this.
For real.
I knew you'd help me. I knew that talking about
always
this
here to help you with your vacuum needs, design needs. Other than the new vacuum, anything else going on?
Well, I'll just say our kids named the vacuum Ro
I like it.
because it's a robot
I like it.
and it's a masculine. It's a masculine robot.
Did it choose?
They gendered it. So
We'll just leave that there.
just leave it there. Other than that, yes, there's lots of things to talk about. I don't want to take up a ton of time, but I finished Star Wars Visions, all the episodes, and my overall kind of feeling on it is it's a lot of fun. I think it's an awesome thing. One of the coolest Star Wars things that has happened in a long time. In a long time. And I'll just leave that there. Yeah, so did you get a chance to watch any more?
I just finished the Ninth Jedi.
You did?
That was the one with the daughter and the sabersmith.
Yes.
Yep, I just watched that one at work today.
Wasn't that really cool?
That was pretty good.
I think that's my favorite one.
That was a pretty good one.
I liked how... Yeah, I don't know.
The animation in a lot of these are
Animation's
impressive.
great. I love the different things they do with lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one right before that was the Village Bride.
Yes.
Remember, there's a Jedi, and she wears the mask most of the episode, but she when she ignites her lightsaber, I think it's like yellow,
and it's full on,
and
like
it's like a saber.
It's like a samurai sword.
It's like a light samurai sword.
Yeah, and even had like the little crossguard piece that they have.
I just thought that was really cool.
No, I thought that was the way that a lot of the cool stuff they're doing with lightsabers is pretty awesome. And like I said, the animation in them is. I plan on finishing it probably tomorrow or Thursday, since
okay, we should.
My wife won't be home, but
maybe we should do a Star Wars Visions episode. I think it'd be fun to like go through. We could do like a top, like rate them, like put them in order. What order we think we go in or something. And
there are some theories on them too.
Really?
That have to do with like, I don't know. I haven't watched any because I don't want to spoil anything for me.
Oh.
So we'll just gloss over that. I'll come back to that whenever I finish and watch that video.
Just tell me, what is your impression? What'd you think of? I was interested to hear your thoughts on the twins episode. It's just
super anime.
Super anime, yes.
It was like quintessential anime, over the top. Like, literally riding on his spaceship like at hyperspeed almost. Yeah, with space. His lights in space with his lightsaber out.
And then because he has this crazy powerful kyber crystal in it,
he can adjust the length.
The length it's able to cut the cruiser in half.
Yeah, something. It was over the top.
I rewatched that recently, and then somehow as it was going to her, it like shortened enough so that it just got her neck, and it didn't like slice her in half. Because I was like, wait a second, so how did this not slice her in half? But you can tell at the last second it like shortens up and like just hits the crystal on her neck.
I thought the ships were hilarious. The opening scene, the ships, they're like Siamese twins.
Oh yeah, it
just was hilarious.
Yeah, there's like just the big thing in the middle, and they dropped a bunch of different quotes in there. They said, like I have a bad feeling about this. What was there was two others. There's two others that were very on the nose. I can't remember what they are.
I can't remember either. It's been a few days.
But I thought it was just interesting in general to be like, oh, this is like they're totally doing like an alternate sort of like Luke and Leia spin.
It was fun. Like I said, it's just
he pushes the button on his suit and then it just like explodes off and he's dressed like Luke.
It's great. It is just it is full on anime.
I just thought it was fun. I just thought it was a lot of fun. And R2O.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's when it kind of clicked. I was like, R2O. Yeah, he's definitely Luke. That's an X-wing. Yep. Anyway. I thought it was fun. I showed my kids one last night.
Which one?
I don't think you've seen it. It's called TOB1.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's the droid.
That's the next one, I think.
That looks like a little boy. It's pretty... I like that one a lot. That one's very anime as well. Not that they aren't, none of them are, but just like the kind of over the top and...
The quintessential over the top anime.
Like it'll go from being super serious to super... Not. Really quick. But I just think TOB1's just like a really cool character. What's the word? He's just a sweetheart. It kind of reminded me of like a Star Wars version of the story of Pinocchio. I was thinking the second time I watched it, how he wants to be like a real boy or whatever. But anyway,
that's a good one. I like it. It's cool. It's a cool show. Cool little concept that they did.
Yeah,
it's nice that they're kind of branching out a little bit from main Star Wars stuff.
Right, yeah, it lets them kind of explore and try things and not have to worry about.
Some of them have got some good stories. Like like some of them I've left like I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, like I mean, the Ninth Jedi was really good. The one with I really like the Village Bride a lot.
The first episode.
The first episode was very interesting too to know that guy who's like collecting red lightsaber crystals from Sith, and
anyway,
yeah.
Give
So
it
check it out. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's worth the ride. Each episode's only like 12, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think the longest is 20 something, and that's the Ninth Jedi, I think.
Yep. So anyway, maybe we'll talk maybe more about them.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll go more into that.
Because I definitely have some opinions on the later ones too.
Oh, you know what?
Well,
I still haven't watched Bad Batch. I haven't finished Bad Batch.
I know. I thought about that the other night. I was like, we need to talk about Visions, and I was like, wait, he hasn't even finished Bad Batch.
I might need to watch it without my wife.
I did, but my wife's not. I don't know. My wife's not as big a fan of the like extra Star Wars stuff.
Steph enjoys Bad Batch. She's actually been enjoying it. Maybe now that we're done with Downton Abbey, she'll be more than happy to sit and watch it.
Leverage. I'm just kidding.
We watched this, so you need to watch it. No, she enjoys it. From what we've watched of Bad Batch, she's actually liked it too. And she's also not much of not necessarily the side stuff, but like the cartoon stuff. She's not big into cartoons or anime. Yeah. But even she's even said like she's interested in watching the Clone Wars series. She's like, because it sounds interesting. Yeah. I was like, it is interesting. You should do it.
Yeah. I also finished Elantris after 2+ years.
One of his shortest books, and it took you the longest to read.
Elantris, I started. That was the first Brandon Sanderson book I started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it was very interesting right away, and I got a good ways into it right away, and then I really wanted to start The Way of Kings, and so I started that. And then I decided, okay, I'm gonna just read The Way of Kings and finish this book because it's a massive book and I want to finish it. And then I've been slowly chipping away at Elantris ever since. I'll like listen to it when I'm mowing the lawn. So like every time I mow the lawn, I'll get a little further.
There you go.
Because I listen to the audiobook. But yeah, the ending was fantastic.
Mm.
I'm very glad I read that book. Very glad I finished it. It is a great book. It's I think there's aspects of it that show that Brandon Sanderson was earlier in his writing career.
This is his first published book, right?
It was, yeah. But the ending especially just makes the whole book really come together and feel even better. And the storylines of the main three characters, very interesting conclusion, and it made me want to see more stuff from Elantris, which actually there is a short story I can now read because called The Hope of Elantris, I think. So I will try to read that soon.
Did you know one of the characters from Elantris is in The Way of Kings?
You told me that what's his name? Galadin is in there, and I need to go back and read that.
He's in one of the interludes.
Galadin is probably
pretty sure
one of my favorite characters in Elantris in that book. He's, just a really cool character. And I won't spoil the ending, but there was, there were some, at the very end of the Elantris, there were some characters that died, some characters that almost died, and it was a tough read to, it was just tough because you're like, oh my goodness, they've gone through so much. Especially the characters that are like, not zombies, but
the Elantrians.
They can't stop feeling pain once they like stub their toe. They'll feel that stubbed toe forever.
Yeah, man, I remember reading that, being like, "This would be miserable. That'd be a miserable life."
Brutal. Yeah, he did a really good job with the world building early on in Elantris, just establishing how brutal it was, and the people that were just like their minds were just gone because of the pain had become the accumulation of pain. But so like for some of those characters to get all the way through the book and then be like, oh, and now they're gonna die? Are you kidding me? But it had a really good ending.
Just get ready for Stormlight 5, where we lose all of the characters. They made it 4 books. They made it 4 books, but through all this stuff, this can't happen.
But at the hands of Dalinar, Odium's champion.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Zoink Scoobs.
What's gonna happen? Ooh, Gurg.
Sweet though, that's awesome. I need to reread Elantris. That was the first book I read after reading the first 3 Stormlight books.
Okay.
And that was when I was getting, like, I was like, okay, Brandon Sanderson's awesome. I want to read the rest of his stuff. And that was when I was learning more about the Cosmere. First book I went to was Elantris, because they had it on sale at Barnes & Noble.
There you go.
Got it, read it, enjoyed it. Then I think I went to Warbreaker.
Yeah, I want to read that one coming up. I need to finish Hero of Ages from Mistborn. And I also kind of want to see if I can finish, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but want to finish the first Wheel of Time book before the show comes out. But so we'll see. I've also got some other things I'm trying to do. I got writing like schedule. I made a set of kind of deadlines for myself for certain, for like this draft, for the next draft, and hopefully if it goes according to or gets ahead of schedule. If it goes according to schedule, then I would be ready to publish, start trying to publish it next, not next year, but like the beginning of the next year.
Nice.
So like 2 more revision drafts, and then people reading it, feedback, and then getting that feedback and doing it in the last draft, and then that will put me at the 2023.
I can't wait to read it.
Sounds crazy, but that's the schedule I'm putting myself on. So,
well, that's awesome. I'm glad you got yourself a schedule and you're pushing hard on it. Good. Yeah. Awesome. And
I'll just say last thing about me.
It's all about you, Jack.
I know. Is just you referenced my short story, and if it was out there in the ether, if people wanted to read it, if you do want to read it, I did make sure that I could publish it on my blog, because it was published in an anthology. The publisher had to close down, and so I wanted to make sure all the rights came back to me, and I confirmed that they did. So I went ahead and published it on my writer blog, and I put it on our Bridge of Two Facebook page.
It'll come up. It'll be up on our Instagram here at one point.
Yeah. So
in the near future, whenever.
If you go, it's letter J, letter L, allred, ALLRED.com is the link to my writer blog, which is just that short story right now. So, but anyway, that's that.
Sweet. Go read that. It's good.
I'm not even gonna tell you what it's about.
You should go read it. It's good though. The name is Hunting Misfortune.
That's right. I'm very, very of all my accomplishments in writing, which are few. My favorite one is that title. I just love that title so much.
It's a good short story. Give it a read. Seriously, it doesn't take long at all. Definitely easily do it in like a 30-minute sitting, if less. It's good. Sweet.
So what about you?
I've just been doing the same old. Drowning in schoolwork.
I'm just like, I'm going on and on. I finished this book. I finished this series of episodes and this, that. And I look at you and I'm just like, oh no.
I've done a few things. School has been tough, so it's this semester is a lot more in depth with things and hard concepts. So there's learning that.
ALCS, right?
Yeah, definitely
certified. I just said certified.
You having a stroke over there?
My breaths have been tampered with by odium.
Kind of just been doing the same thing. Same things. Reading. Still reading Star Wars: The New Jedi Order.
Oh, right.
Same book, just a little bit further in.
My brother-in-law mentioned he's read a good bit of that series too.
Good series.
Yeah. There's one thing I know you've been doing.
What have I been doing?
Drawing for Inktober.
I have. I decided to do the Inktober this year.
Happy Inktober, everyone. Mm-hmm. What is Inktober, Jeremiah?
We'll started 2015, 2014, a couple years back. A guy or a group, I don't remember if it was a guy or just a group, but kind of did a thing of like, okay, I'm gonna make a 31-day kind of schedule and have each day's gonna be like a 1-word prompt, and we're gonna draw whatever you want as long as it fits with that prompt. Whatever that prompt makes you think of, you get to draw it. You kind of have that freedom, but the rule is you do it in ink. You either do it straight from ink, or you can do pencil first and then in ink. A lot of people now have just taken it as just doing it.
I know. Yeah, I just was thinking that. I was like, wait, I've seen so many that are just people doing it on like iPads and
yeah,
stuff.
a lot of people just do it like that now, which is I think the guy doesn't. It doesn't matter because it's just basically just a way to get you out there and draw.
Right.
It was I think initially was for the guy to like, I want to get used to inking.
Right.
So I'm trying to do a little bit more the traditional way of actually doing it with traditional paper. I do pencil first and then I ink it, just because I'm far more comfortable doing that. If I didn't do that, everything would look really bad. So I'm doing that. I'm doing the Cosmere Inktober 2021 prompt though. I've only gotten 3 out. I missed
3 out of 5, I think. That's
I missed the 3rd day, and then I'm missing today. I'm gonna try and get it done.
I mean, even if you're like 1 day behind.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the 3rd day.
Or 1 or 2 days behind. I mean,
I'm not worrying about the 3rd day, but I'm definitely gonna. I think I can make today's prompt. It's not gonna be as bad hard. It's just skies. I think I can do something with that. It's not hard to draw. And then I already have an idea for tomorrow's prompt, so they should be able to get that down. But it's fun. It's enjoyable.
I've enjoyed seeing it.
I've thrown them up on Instagram, on my personal Instagram. I'll link to it on the Bridge of Two, or I'll
I think you shared like the first.
I think I shared the first one
on the Bridge of Two. Yeah.
You're welcome to look at them.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good way for me to. I'm trying to get a little bit. I'm kind of using this as a way to, because most of mine are going to be focused around like a character drawing, and this is helping me to get better at drawing characters in different poses in different places, in space and stuff like that.
You were telling me too, like getting to communicate like a story kind of through a drawing, through like not a ton of text.
Yes, I'm trying to, because I want to eventually do a comic book. I'm trying to really do my best with short drawings. I'm obviously not going to I can't take too long doing them, and with the medium that I'm using, which is ink, I'm trying to still get across kind of a story, visual storytelling. I'm trying to get a little bit better at visual storytelling by hopefully having my drawing tell a story in as little up there as possible. And my drawings to an extent are kind of following a story. They're not necessarily in order, but I eventually, I'm kind of keeping them all in the same world and the same story. It's Cosmere with a little bit of Star Wars, and by a little bit I mean a lot of Star Wars mixed in. So just a little fun. So it's been enjoyable, and I'm just using it to kind of. It's fun. I'm actually enjoying it. So, but to get a little better at the visual storytelling, hopefully work on that a bit.
At the time of this airing, you will be hopefully, it'll be day 11, right? So it'll be a few more drawings in for sure.
Definitely. I'm excited for tomorrow's. I think tomorrow's will be good. My 3rd drawing wasn't the best, in my opinion, but
you did it though.
I did it.
So
I'm critical of myself though, so.
Still do it though.
I'm still gonna do it because
that's like NaNoWriMo. I don't know if this is the fact that this is like right before NaNoWriMo makes me think that maybe the guy who did it, maybe he got the idea from NaNoWriMo. Where NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month. Some guy decided in the 90s to try to get his friends and him to see if they could write a novel in a month, and they set the limit at 50,000 words. And people do it every year now, and a lot of people do it. And some people's first drafts of their novels have come out of it.
That's awesome.
I've done it a couple times, and that's the thing is that you kind of acknowledge that your first draft is going to be really rough, to put it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty much crap, the first draft. But until you kind of get it out and see what's there, and kind of organically let it be what it wants to be and see if there's anything good there, you can't necessarily move forward. So I think it's a valuable thing to, whether it's Inktober or NaNoWriMo, to kind of have it, put deadlines on yourself and then see what you can accomplish with deadlines, because you can accomplish a lot whenever you're under pressure.
Yeah, and just put it down, get it down. I'm really just focusing on just sitting down, drawing for a bit, and then whatever I do, come up with what it looks like, and still posting it. Like yesterday, I had struggled with not wanting to post that one because I didn't like it, but I was like, no, I drew it. It's Springtober. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, go look up those on Instagram. Do the hashtag Inktober 2021 There's a lot of good artists out there that make it some cool. The prompt is different for the OG Inktober.
The main Inktober, and then there's the Cosmere.
And then there's the Cosmere. There's a bunch of different prompts out there that people have made. But go type hashtag Inktober 2021. There's some good artwork out there. Got some good artists doing some good stuff. So give it a look. I definitely try and look through it pretty much every day at this point. So I've been doing that. Otherwise, not really much. Man, yeah, holy cow, not really much else. I mean, I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic. Made it to the second planet. I just play that at work, though.
What's the second planet?
Dantooine.
Dantooine. Don't get me started on Dantooine.
Oh, yeah. Thinking about playing... I need to go back to playing Birth by Sleep Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, I need to do that too. I haven't played any of those games in a while.
Well, I've been playing Mass Effect, and I'm halfway through the second game. But I think I want to play a little bit of Kingdom Hearts. Kind of, especially today after Sora was announced for Smash Bros. I kind of want to go back. It got me wanting to play Kingdom Hearts. So
shout out to Smash Bros.
It was just funny seeing Mario. The trailer for it.
Yeah,
it has Mario. Some like fire drops and Mario picks up the fire and throws it, and it turns into a Keyblade that opens up a doorway that Sora comes through, flies out and through. And then Simple and Clean is playing in the background.
Oh, wow.
And it was just to see these Mario characters and then see Sora coming. I was like, this is weird.
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's like, what world am I living in here?
It was great, though. I'm gonna officially get Smash.
Imagine back in, when the Kingdom Hearts 2 was out or whatever, someone telling you that Sora would be a character in Super Smash Brothers.
I would
have hugged you. Yeah. There's a lot of characters in Super Smash now that you wouldn't have thought of, like there was Solid Snake,
Cloud, Sephiroth. I'm pretty sure is in it.
Man, it's crazy.
A couple.
Sonic ends up. He ended up in Brawl. I wouldn't have thought.
I want to say he's in it again. I think he's in it again. Pac-Man's in it.
Just cramming everyone in.
I mean, at this point, I think Sora's the last character though for this game. I think he's officially the last.
Do you have to get characters by unlocking them?
I think they're DLC.
DLC? Don't tell me that.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
That can't be true.
I think so.
Let's go. Where's our Molotov?
I mean, you do still unlock characters in it, and maybe I still think I bet you even if you get the DLC, you have to fight them.
Do something? No way.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't own the game right now. I need to. I've been wanting to get it for the longest time. I just haven't. I love the Smash Brothers game.
So this is a game that's been out, and they've just been releasing.
It's been out pretty much almost since the Switch has been out. I love the old Smash Bros. Brawl. That's so good.
Smash Bros. Brawl was good. Melee was really I played that for the longest time, and the timing. I got so used to.
I think about Melee.
That was the GameCube one. I'm thinking about Melee, used to the timing of Melee that when Brawl came out, I just it didn't feel the same.
I couldn't. Brawl was on the Wii, right?
Yeah.
I could only.
No, Brawl was on the Nintendo U or Wii U. I mean. Oh no, you're right. It was Wii. You're right.
I could only play that with a GameCube controller. I could not play it on a Wii remote. Oh,
yeah, no, it's
awful. But maybe I'll have to get it, and we'll all get together and beat each other up. That's the one. The one on the Switch does a 8-player brawl. You have 8 people playing at once.
My word!
It is. We've done it with some friends, and it gets hectic.
How do you do that? You just have 8 controllers.
8 controllers.
I did not know you could play with 8 controllers.
Yeah, well, the controllers for the Switch are small too. Cause you can one single controller can be split into two. And so if you have 4, which I think we have 4 controllers, so that makes it 8.
That's cool.
So we have 3, so 6.
A friend at work showed me the Switch Lite today.
Mm-hmm.
Had it in his pocket.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was like, I held it and looked at it. I was like, man, I need to get a Switch.
I'll tell you what, man, the Switch is underrated. They got some good games. And I'm not even talking about just Switch exclusives they have good Switch exclusives, but they have good they've ported a lot of good games.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic is about to be ported to Switch.
He was playing. He had a Castlevania collection that he was going to play. I've never played Castlevania. He hadn't either. But he was going to play it. And the Switch is a really good in between of a handheld and a console. It's amazing how they've made it. Feel like a A bridge, you could say.
Mm.
A bridge of consoles.
I actually just got Republic Commando on the Switch.
Nice.
I'm gonna play that here. You know they're doing.
So good.
I think they're doing that with the Steam. They're doing like a Steam
Steam
console.
Deck.
That's
Steam
that's
Deck.
like the Switch, but like
Yes,
that's interesting.
I saw some people like demoing it, and it's definitely bulkier than a Switch,
but
I think it also runs stuff that the Switch can't run. And there's just a lot more freedom, I think, too, with getting games on there from other platforms that aren't just
it's
Steam.
got its full operating system and everything like that.
Right.
Like, it's not just like the Switch. It's
And
like
then
it's almost like a computer in itself.
Right, you can hook it up to your TV as well, and like and play it. So, yeah.
Anyway, but that's about it for me. Just
Nice.
doing the same old. Nothing crazy this time around.
Right on. Well, should we take a break?
Yeah, take a quick break, get some drinks.
We've got some mead. I guess we didn't say we're gonna. We both finished the second book in the Galaxy's Edge series.
Galactic Outlaws is the book
called Galactic Outlaws, and so we're gonna talk a little bit of sci-fi.
Yeah, go a little sci-fi this time around with that book and that series. So
stick around and listen to us try some mead and talk Galaxy's Edge.
Alrighty.
Welcome back. We got some mead here. We have a stowaway as well on the podcast.
A victim, if you will.
I've never been on a podcast before, so my big break.
Big debut. You'll become famous after this one.
So Jeremiah grabbed Steph to get a tasting.
Taste the mead with us.
The mead, yeah. So we've got this hop swarm. Oh, do you have a can?
Right there. Nope. And I didn't want to say it on the podcast. There you go. Didn't want to say where it was on the podcast.
He just pulled it out
Trash
of the
can.
garbage.
How dare you?
We got the hop swarm here. It's a perfect combination of wildflower honey and 7 different hops to create a balanced, crushable mead. Not sure what that means.
I'm not sure I even know what a hop is.
Hoppy.
I think that's what they make beer out of, is hops, right?
I actually don't know either.
But what is it?
The hop. I don't know.
That's like defining a
It's a
word
part of
with
a
the
plant.
word.
I don't know. Let's taste it and see what it tastes like.
Ready?
Wow.
That was really good.
You know what? It smells like an IPA.
It does.
And I was like a little off put by it. And it still even tastes like an IPA, but it's sweeter than an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, it goes down. It's been like this for every one of their meads, but it just goes down so smooth.
So smooth.
It's very fruity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This might be one of my favorites that I've had.
Can I see that can?
What was there a cherry one that we had?
That's one we just tried, the Psycho Pump.
That one was my favorite so far. This one is honestly, crazy enough, now I think about it, the very first one
mead.
that we've ever tried might have been my favorite. I don't like tea, but that was very good.
I like the Buckland mead a lot. This one definitely is up there in that kind of that experience I had when I had the Buckland mead. This is a very revelatory drink.
It's definitely a good one.
This is very delicious.
It's called Hop Swarm, and you would think that you're gonna get, just a really hoppy IPA tasting kind of thing, but it's sweet.
Definitely has that IPA taste.
In a good sweetness, not like overly sweet.
Definitely got a little bit IPA taste, but goes down smooth.
It's a drink I'd want to sip on a warm day.
Very nice. What do you give it out of 5?
Oh, out of 5?
No, we do 1 out of 10 here in this household. Out of 10.
Out of 10, how many 5s do you give it?
Wait a minute.
So I either give
Don't
it
think
a
about
5
it.
or 10.
Don't think about it.
That took me
That doesn't leave me much choice.
Great or greatest?
That took me a second.
I would give this...
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is it? How much good does it taste?
Excuse me. I would give this a 7 out of 10.
Huh.
Fair enough.
What's a 10 out of 10? What have you had to drink that's a 10 out of 10?
Probably some kind of beverage.
Cocktail.
Yeah, like a cocktail. Like a mojito.
I give this
that we had.
A 9 out of 10. Because I don't know what the 10 out of 10 is. I don't know what the perfect drink is, but this is a 9 out of 10.
Going off of like beer/meads, this is definitely like a 9 out of 10.
You heard it here, folks.
I'm not a beer or mead person. Actually, I feel like one of the meads you guys had, I did try some of it and I didn't like it.
Was it the Old Wayfarer, the one that had Gandalf on the front?
Yes, that was it. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
one.
that one is a little more.
It was very bland.
Yeah, I think it's just that style of drink, maybe, but I don't know. But this one, I really like the flavors in it, and it's really good.
Agreed.
Anyway.
All right, well.
This has definitely turned me into a mead person. I want to actually... I'm debating buying my own in bulk of this and just drinking them.
It's fun. And they just came out with, like, they do seasonal stuff, so they just came out with a one for, like, winter. It's called Wild Hunt.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. You gotta tell me the website after this. Oh, you can tell right now, actually, to plug them.
I think it's just Groenfellmeadery.com. It's GroenFell meadery.com. Meadery is MEADERY.com. I really did spell it out for you, so if you wanted to know, now you do.
You still need to make our meadery.
We do.
That sounds like something.
Ron Swanson would probably come there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I know what I'm about, son.
Anyway.
All right.
Thank you for joining us for this tasting.
I don't know what I added, but...
Your input.
We appreciate it.
At least I'm getting over my podcast fear, like the first...
Oh, yeah.
The first one is done.
Now she's going to be on every episode.
Right. Yep. Now you're going to start... She's going to start her own podcast and compete with us.
Oh, her and Aaron are going to start
one that
competes with our podcast.
That's not going to work.
That could be about something completely different than what we're talking about, so they're not actually competing at all.
No, we're gonna talk about all the things you guys talk about.
Oh no!
The week after
they're gonna
Are you just gonna react to our podcast?
Yeah.
They're gonna what do you call it? Scoop us. Like whenever you take someone's writing a story and then you come in behind them and get the story first. I don't know. I thought that made sense, but. Anyway. Now you guys ganged up on me. You gotta go, Steph. I feel judged.
Alrighty.
No,
where's my wife?
Let's get to our topic.
We need to have you guys. We're gonna have you guys for a Harry Potter episode or something. I think that would be really.
We need to do anyway.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Anyway, yes, I really enjoyed the mead.
That was good.
Thank you, Stephanie, for.
I finished that the fastest.
Jeez, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Steph, for your contribution.
Yep.
So, Galactic Outlaws.
I'm excited to talk about this one. This is I especially listening to it again it reminds me of how much fun I had reading it for the first time and listening to it. I enjoy listening to this one.
Yeah.
I'm not much of an audiobook guy usually, unless it's Star Wars because they do their audiobooks amazing. But I'm enjoying the audiobook for this. I like the narrator.
Yeah, I like the narrator
a lot.
Definitely fits with the the dialogue and all the dramatic stuff that people do and say in it.
So before we get started into it, what did you think of it? We'll start with that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I don't think it was. It wasn't necessarily what I expected. I think I expected there to be different characters, but also I expected there to be a lot more characters that we'd already heard about.
And I guess real quick too, we'll go and say spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you want to read it or care about spoilers, spoilers for Galactic Outlaws and probably a little bit of Legionnaire.
Yeah. So if you haven't read any of the first two Galaxy's Edge books and you're planning on it, or if you are, maybe you aren't. If you're planning on it and you care about spoilers, then be warned. But so the first book, obviously is got about the Legionnaires and this squad. What was the name of their squad or company or whatever? Was it Victory Company?
Victory Company.
Yeah. And so you got Victory Company and all the characters in that in the first book. In the second book, you hear early on you hear about Wraith, being a bounty hunter, and you hear about a character that's mentioned in the epilogue. Tyrus Rex is a viewpoint character early on, but other than that, I mean, there's not really any characters from the first book.
Nope. It's they do the way the authors do these books is very interesting. Where they just, especially for the first 2 books, and then into the 3rd book, you'll really catch it you'll see it as well. They just jump around, like timeline wise, but it all fits together. Like it's very narratively satisfying once you finish.
Right. I imagine it's like you're getting time with these characters that are probably going to end up all being very integral in the overarching story of the galaxy and everything. So you have to, rather than just being thrown in with them all at the moment, all at the same time, you get to spend some time with them before things get really serious.
It's super interesting too. So like the first book is written in first person view, correct?
Oh yeah, whole thing.
And then the second book is written in third person view.
Yep, more traditional.
So if my English is correct, if I remember from high school,
yeah.
The third book, parts of it are written in second person view.
So second person wouldn't that be like you? Like you're saying,
like someone's telling a story about you. You do this. You do. Yep. It's then. Yep. The part of the story is part of the book is written in a second person. Yeah. It's with a completely new character that you've never met before. You're gonna start to be like, what is? So the third book, little spoilers, but it does start off right back where the first book left off.
Okay. Yeah. I think my brother-in-law. Okay. So my brother-in-law, who, my brother-in-law is married to my sister, my twin sister. He is a big reader, loves especially sci-fi. I mean, he's read a ton of fantasy, but I don't know what he'd say with this, but I think he seems like a little more of a sci-fi person. And so he listened to our podcast and checked out the first book, and he is on book 6. He finished book 6.
Nice.
So he is deep into this series, and he's way farther than I am. And but he was mentioning that book 3 picks up right where book 1 left off, and he said things get a lot crazier.
Book 3 into book 4 is when things are like really starting to kind of fit things together.
Right.
You're like, what?
So so what I'll say, I was thinking about the book on the way over here. This book to me was really Tyrus Rex's book. Mm-hmm. He's the general. He was in the epilogue, and he kind of the hero, a big hero in the epilogue, because the Legionnaires in that story were sent into just what they didn't realize was like basically a suicide mission against these ancient robotic enemies that were picking them off in this space castle or whatever. Mm-hmm. All just to get some princess that was it a princess? Mm-hmm. Or was it it was like a
I think it was a princess.
It was a woman that this pirate lord person wanted to make like one of his wives or something.
There's more to it. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's more to it.
Because the government wanted the Republic wanted her dead.
I think she was a princess. She was supposed to be executed, but they were rescuing her from the pirate in order to execute her. So which is an important factor in the story. Which is like a crazy, it's just a crazy thing whenever you read everything these men are going through just to rescue this girl, just so she can be executed. So after it all goes sideways, Tyrus Rex is like the general who swoops in and saves the day, and disappears with the princess. So you pick up with him. He's a bounty hunter. Clearly, he's not part of the chain of command anymore, and he's a very wanted person by the Legionnaires.
Yes,
by the Republic in general. By the Republic, yeah. And so he's having to watch his back and everything like that. There's a character, a little girl, who her father is killed by assassins or something like that.
Prisma Maydoon.
And she wants revenge, and so she's looking for a bounty hunter to kill the people that did it. And she has a name. What's that name?
Goth Solus.
Goth Solus. A name that sort of like a name that no one really knows at that time.
Yeah.
But it's a very, 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 very Sith-like character, like seems like a very Sith-like character with his powers.
Really, also just described as wearing a robe with hood over his head.
He's got like telekinetic powers and stuff like that. Very much that idea of a villain that's like moving the pieces behind the scenes and in the galaxy. Kind of get that vibe from him. So Tyrus Rex's arc in that book is that he's been trying to provide justice to the galaxy because there's no justice in the galaxy.
Not only that, but if you kind of, as I was listening to it again and said that, it almost seems like he is out on the edge.
Yeah, staying on the edge.
For like
he's waiting for something. He doesn't know what. Yeah.
Which is kind of what drives him to help Prisma in the first place. Right. He's like, for some reason, this is connected.
Yeah.
Which, spoilers, and ends up being connected.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's got some voice in his head saying "wait on the edge," which gave me Dalinar vibes.
But like, there's definitely a reason he's out there. He's so, more spoilers, but he's so old.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, old that he doesn't really remember.
Which that's like, you know,
he needs
end of the book. You don't find out really that until the end of the book.
He needs some breaths to hold his memory.
His memories, because he can't remember all that. So then you've got this character, Captain Keel, who's kind of like Han Solo meets the captain on the Firefly show.
Ooh, why can't I not remember his name? That's gonna annoy me.
But he's a very capable smuggler. You end up finding out that he's another character.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been spending time with this other character from the first book the entire time as you get on in the story, which is Wraith. We'll just go ahead and say it because
Keel
an episode
is also one of my favorite characters.
Must be for stuff later. Like, okay, I liked him in this book. He was awesome in this book.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyrus Rex, I came away from this book feeling like Tyrus Rex was so awesome.
Well, yes, you definitely leave. I mean, you were right though. This is definitely a Tyrus Rex book, but Tyrus Rex is gone now. So, and I've read I think I've read up to book 5 or 6.
Okay,
and so and Keel's in it.
So Keel I'm guessing Keel just has like a bigger part to play.
He's a main character,
okay,
for sure. I mean, I can say that. I mean, I'm sure you can get to this point that he's a main character.
His story in this book was basically, I'm trying to think. I mean, like when they get to the final planet, he's there and he's trying to take out Devers from the first book. He's trying to get revenge on Devers for what happened to his men in the first book, and which doesn't work out, but he gets kind of swept up into this whole thing. It feels like, I don't know.
As you read book 3, a lot more things start to make sense as far as Keel's part and everything.
Okay.
I won't say anything because it's spoilers, but yes, I also just like his. I liked Wraith in the first book as a character. Right. Like I liked his demeanor, but then having Keel in the second book, and then also learning that he's the same person.
It was like 2 different characters.
It is. It's like 2 different characters, and it's really neat. Like I like Keel I like both of it as individual characters, but Keel, I don't know. I like that smuggler, Han Solo-esque.
Well, it kind of gives him different. It gives him a different. It gives a different shade to Keel because Keel is not smug. He's not the way he is because he's just can't take things seriously.
Yeah.
He's the way he is because he's seen so much. He's been through so much, and so it's sort of his way of just, I don't know if coping's the right word, but it just gives it a different flavor the way he acts as Keel.
Well, what else I like about Keel too, compared to like, say like Han Solo or something like that, or like some of those other characters that are very like that have that type of archetype, is that like Keel is overconfident, but he's not. I wouldn't even say he's not overconfident. He's confident because he's very skilled. Like a lot of the interactions he has, he's doing something where like he's acting like he's cocky. But the thing is he backs up that cockiness with skill.
Right.
And that comes from his past as a Legionnaire and Wraith, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about it, is that he's like that cocky smuggler, but he also is like extremely skilled. Like he's not just this cocky jerk, but can't back it up. Like he can actually back it up with skill. And even his interaction with Tyrus Rex kind of shows it, where Tyrus Rex is like, wow, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, that initial the scene with there's a scene very late in the book when Tyrus Rex and Keel meet up, and they basically have a standoff over because he's going for Maydoun. That's what it is. He's going for Prisma because there's a big bounty for her, and it will basically be like he can retire kind of thing, or he can do whatever he needs to do with that money to meet his goals. So it's a big contract for him. So he's trying to get Prisma, but Rex is trying to protect Prisma and fulfill her contract of getting revenge for her. So that's where they clash near the end of the book. And so you have this, you could say, unstoppable force meets an immovable object kind of situation where, there's no way Rex is going to respect or listen to Keel, and Keel is just like, okay, you're in my way, old man. I've got something I need to do because his goals are what's most important, which that is something I did notice about him, thought about him. This is definitely kind of a Han Solo type thing, but I think it's almost to a different degree. Like you really feel like Wraith does feel like Wraith kind of is using people. Like, he's got for his own goals. Like he's got the kid, right? Where he goes and he picks up the kid and he's manipulating the kid to get him to come with him. And then the kid is like worried about this and that and the other happening. And, he's still, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember reading a part where the kid tells him something and he kind of disregards it and just does whatever anyway. Same thing with the princess. Same thing with going for Prisma and stuff. He's kind of like, my goals are more important than what you're wanting me to do, or what I should do as like a good guy, like what you think a good guy should do. So that's an interesting thing about him, like a character flaw, I would say, that makes him a more interesting character too, is that you're rooting for him, but at the same time, he's not 100% in the right in what he's doing and how he's doing it. So, but what are your like top moments you think from that book?
I mean, the ending for sure.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot, because the ending, you learn a lot. Like, you don't learn anything, but it makes you feel like you've learned a lot about Tyrus Rex. Yeah.
You learn enough to make you have so many questions.
You learn enough to make you realize that you don't know anything.
Yeah, right. Well, he basically finds out he's like very old. I don't know how old he would have to be.
He says he was part of NASA.
Right.
And their first, reaches out into space, it sounds like.
Like there was some kind of NASA team that him and Goth Solus, whose name is really Sullivan, were on.
1,000 other names. Oh, you also find out that Goth Solus, which I missed on my first read, but remember the Admiral that he talks about a lot, or the Captain that he talks about, that they were in that last battle with? Remember when he goes to the shipyard where that bounty hunter group is at? And he talks about being on this ship in the past when they all went down.
Does Rex talk about that?
Remember when he went to that bounty hunter group? I can't remember their name, the Black Brotherhood or something like that.
Okay, I think so.
And he's on the ship and he's has his own little inner dialogue of talking about I was on this ship when this ship became a graveyard.
Okay.
And then he's fighting that monster and he sees the names I wasn't on this ship, I was on a different ship here. And he kind of flashes back to him talking to a captain or whatever. Well, that captain is Goth Solus. Tyrus Rex thought that guy was dead, but it turns out he wasn't. He thought that guy died during that battle.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I didn't catch that on my first read through for some reason. I'm pretty sure.
Weird.
Unless I misheard something, but I'm
I
pretty
do.
sure.
I mean, I remembered there was a part in the book where it referenced Tyrus Rex is saying something about seeing the Pacific Ocean on the ancient Earth or something like that. And I'm like, wait. I've never heard about Earth in this whole series, and
you just have Tyrus Rex.
And he just says he's seen the ancient Pacific Ocean So I'm like, how old is he? Like, is that a, but
anyway, so yeah,
the ending was epic because you had all that information that, wasn't a ton of information, but it was enough to just blow everything wide open, all these questions. And then you had those Legionnaires that pop up that kind of like fade in from cloaking or something like that. And he takes them all out. And that was such just an epic.
Yeah, that whole last like chapter of just
to know that to see him do all of that as he's being killed, and basically he's slowly like running out of ammo, getting shot, and you pretty much realize, okay, he's gonna die here, and then you see like, oh, he's gonna die, yeah, but he's gonna actually take all these guys out first. That was pretty epic. Way to go out.
Yeah, I definitely like that scene. But like that's the thing I like about these books too, is like otherwise like I can't really think of a scene that like really stood out to me, because the whole book in my opinion is just really good. Like it's a book where kind of like it goes and it's steady the entire way through.
That's true.
But most of that, and that's what I like about most of the books are like that. I mean, the third book's a little bit different because, like I said, it goes to like the second person view, and it's like it's a little interesting. But like otherwise, like all the books are very steady. Like they start in the beginning and they're steady all the way through. Where like you don't really have like a crazy drop in like.
I laughed. I laughed out loud when Ravi was. They're being these Legionnaires find him, and Keel is wearing his Wraith armor, so he looks like a Legionnaire, and he's tapped into their comms enough to make them think that he's a certain rank, and he's like trying to give them orders and stuff, saying he's Black Ops and all this stuff, and then he's got prisoners, and then they get some idea that like, okay, this guy isn't right, so they're telling him what to do, and he's like, okay, fine, but at first we have to make sure these prisoners get to the thing. Or so and so is gonna have have your hide or whatever, and then so Ravi's his droid that is
hologram
is like it's like
technically not even a droid, it's like a hologram.
He's like an AI that he project through. He's got these droids that project him.
Ravi's still a mystery because like even in the book, Keel like mentions like I don't even know where Ravi came from. He just kind of came. Like he's not the ship's AI. He's not even like, he just is on the ship. And
he has some kind of sword that he can wield.
He can kill people apparently.
Even though he's a hologram. Yep. Like how is he wielding the sword? So
that's a theory for later on.
so then in this scene, all of a sudden Ravi he's pretending to be a prisoner, and so the droid hologram droid, whatever, Ravi is a prisoner, and then so is I think Prisma and the Princess are pretending to be prisoners too. And then Ravi's like whips out the sword and starts like going crazy with the sword. And then Keel, still pretending to be a Legionnaire, is like, "Oh no, that one has a sword." The way the the narrator read that, I just cracked.
Yeah, that's
I just imagine Ravi just flailing with the sword, and Wraith just being like, "Oh no."
I do love Ravi and Keel's relationship in the book too.
Yeah,
like they're just a fun pair. I like how like Ravi will just read off statistics.
13%. Yeah,
and then, like something changes, he's like 89%.
Yeah, and then
he's like, I like those odds.
Keel takes a shot. Yeah, and then another really cool thing near the end of the book was the war bot. So Prisma, the little girl. Her father gave her a droid or a robot to protect her and like look out for her, but it's basically some like war robot that was been repurposed as a caretaker kind of robot. But somehow either Keel or Tyrus Rex, they tap into
they both do at one point.
It's warbot programming, and it just like goes ballistic.
Tyrus Rex actually gives it like old ancient command words.
Yeah, and the way it's like, oh man, its voice, like the way that the narrator did the voice of the warbot in that scene was just like, oh my goodness.
And then Keel takes it over by using the programmer, which I can't remember his name right now.
Basically, like the programmer is basically like a cross between Luke and Anakin, because he's got the Luke vibe of being swept up on this adventure. But then he's got the Anakin vibe of like the droids and like being really good at.
But he's also neither like Luke or Anakin because he's a wimp.
Yes, he's wimpy.
Luke's
wimpy at first.
But there's also like a great scene too, like a minor, really small scene that really kind of says a lot about Tyrus Rex and how much he actually knows. Where you have they meet back up or over the radio, he says something like Tyrus Rex mentions how like your programmer is good. He did a good job with the droid, but I was able to counteract it.
Yeah,
which shows like okay, this Tyrus Rex has a lot. Like he's a crazy programmer.
Oh, that was another thing about Tyrus Rex that was really interesting is they're talking about his Sullivan. I mean, like you get the idea that his armor is really special, more like better than everyone else's armor throughout the books, or not throughout this book because this is really where he's in it. And he's got that one thing that shield thing that works half the time or whatever.
I like how half his armor works half the time.
Yeah. But at the very end, when he's with Sullivan says something about his armor that it's like that armor is like one of a kind. Like there's no other armor like that in the galaxy. And I'm just like, what? Where did this armor come from? Like where did he get this armor? You know,
it's got something to do with the
It's like really old armor, but it's really strong.
Where was the Goff
It's
Souls
like shard plate, basically.
Oh my gosh, maybe he's from the Cosmic. Goff Souls mentions a place I cannot remember what it's called.
He drops a lot of
Cosmic Cathedral or something like that.
Cosmic Cathedral. You said something about the Cosmic Cathedral.
Is that what it is? It sounds way too Lovecraftian.
Oh, it's a quantum cathedral.
Quantum Cathedral, is that what it is?
Quantum Cathedral, yeah.
Yeah, he drops that, and I wonder, because I've only gotten like 6 books in, maybe 6 or 7. I wonder if that's got like if that something about that gets talked about more.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really
Quantum
good read.
Palace.
Quantum Palace. Okay. Yeah, it was a really good read, a really fun read, and very fast paced.
That's what I like most about them. They're fast paced, they're easy to read, and they're short.
Yeah.
But they got a good story. The authors are good. The authors are definitely. I don't know. I like the authors. They're good. And you know what is really nice about it? It's clean. For the like in the sense
violent.
of like language,
right?
Like it's got violence.
It's not. Yeah, there's not like a ton of cursing.
But there's not like cursing. Crazy.
There's nothing really inappropriate in it. You know.
Yeah, there's no.
You could
sex
say
scenes laid out all over the place.
Right. If you were to, if it was to have like a rating in there was like suggestive material. Just like. Well, I mean, like the epilogue, with the women being forced to be wives or whatever, like that kind of stuff, might be mentioned, but there's nothing graphic or anything.
Yeah.
So
That's what I think about it, but it's good. I like the authors. They just have some interesting things to say. Definitely tell one of them was in the military at one point.
Yeah, someone had to be. Yeah, they just kind of nailed even though I was never in the military, but some of that stuff you can kind of tell when it's more sensational. And it's just like they're just doing what they think it would be like, and then you can tell when it's more authentic. It's just like they just get it, they know it. I mean, like Karen Travis, like her stuff. She was in the military. Just another example of people who just kind of they get it because they were there. They get the lingo and the. She's
actually got a prequel series set in this universe.
Is it a series?
It's a prequel. I think it's supposed to be a series.
Okay.
It's a prequel, though. It takes place way back. I think back on Earth.
Still. Yeah. I did read the synopsis for that book that's already published, where it's definitely it's taking place on Earth, so super throwback. But I don't know. But if Tyrus Rex was part of NASA, and
'tis possible he's there,
and Sullivan was, then is it possible there's some characters connected to them? In that book? Could be.
Maybe.
Quantum Palace.
Anyway, good book.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
10 out of 10. Would recommend.
I'm sure we'll both be reading. I've already started the 3rd book.
I have not started, but I will start it soon, the next one. Well, anything else we need to say?
Not right now. We'll talk about it more as Josh gets into the 3rd book, because he'll start learning some more things about some stuff, and we'll have some small little conversations about it. Probably have another episode later on.
Sounds good.
Devoted to it. But otherwise, give it a read if you haven't yet. Seriously.
Yeah,
if you like sci-fi, fantasy,
if you like sci-fi,
military thrillers.
If you like, We Were Soldiers. You like military movies, and you like Star Wars.
That's basically what this book is.
Basically, this is what you need to be reading.
Yeah, that's basically what this book is.
So, all right. Well, this has been Bridge of Two.
Far, far away bridge.
You are dismissed. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to nudge her out of here. She's not taking the hint.
I thought it would be like a cutoff, and then I get up, and then you guys keep going.
No.
I mean, we can't. You want us to pause it?
I thought you were going to. No,
Nope.
I'll just leave.
That'll all be cut out. Don't even worry.
Don't let him lie to you. You better
I cut
keep
out
that.
so much stuff.
Are we still recording?
Those are my...
Yeah.
You better keep that in.
I'm scared. I'm not going to keep the I'm
Scared.
not going to keep me yelling. You are dismissed. In. Okay.
Alrighty.
No, you're my older brother.
Sure.
You're allowed to dismiss me.
Okay. So you're dismissed
Alright, dismissed.
in your own house.